Hello, my name is Michael Lahyani. I'm the CEO and founder of Property Finder Group. We are the leading real estate portal in the Middle East. Think about iProperty in the Middle East. We operate in 7 markets, and we are a #1 position in 4 of those markets. Now, at Property Finder, we try not to focus too much on building a billion-dollar company. What we try to focus on is solving 1 billion problems a year. So I don't know how it is here in this part of the world, but in the Middle East, the house hunting experience is still a very, very frustrating process. And so we think that as long as there's pain in that process, there's an opportunity for us to solve the problem. So I'm going to try and summarize the story of Property Finder, the past 11 years, in the next couple of minutes. But before I start that, there are 3 elements that I want you to remember that keeps on coming throughout my journey. People, problems, and persistence. So going back to 2004, I get a phone call from my uncle who says, "Hey, why don't you come and visit me in Dubai? I'm based over there now, and it's a great city. You'll see in your life there will be a before and an after Dubai." And I'm thinking to myself, really? A before and an after Dubai? Okay, I'll come and visit you, sure. So I fly to Dubai, and I get there, and to my great surprise, there is an amazing city with amazing mega real estate projects. I mean, this is a couple of years before I get to Dubai, and this is 15 years later, the same street. So when you see that, it doesn't really take a genius to know that something quite amazing is about to happen in the real estate sector in the Middle East. And so I start my conversation with people, and I start asking them, well, how do you search for property in Dubai? And everybody points me to the same direction. They point me to this old school newspaper called Gulf News. And they say, you just grab Gulf News, and there's a supplement in it. It's a thick supplement. You just flick through it. After 3 pages, your fingertips are black. And yeah, that's how we search for property in Dubai. And so I thought, wow, there is no dedicated real estate classified in the Middle East. And so I decided to pack my bags and leave Switzerland and set homes in Dubai and launch the first real estate classified in the Middle East. And so at the time, the internet penetration was quite low. We had about 40% internet penetration. And we couldn't really rely on the rely on the internet to generate leads for the real estate brokers. So we had to launch a print. And we launched the first print, and it was 70,000 copies distributed every week throughout the country. And so we were very successful in generating leads to the real estate agents, and they were very happy to have an option, an alternative to Gulf News. Real estate agents don't like to have only one option. They like to advertise with different options. And so we were getting amazing traction, and we were set for an amazing journey. But something came up, a problem, right? First time. Gulf News had signed up all their real estate agents into an exclusive agreement. What it says in the terms and condition is that if you sign exclusively with them, they'll give you 95% discount. Wow. How do you beat that, right? I mean, and suddenly they started calling all our customers and saying, hey guys, you can't advertise in this print magazine, this classified, otherwise we will sue you for all the discounts that we've given you retrospectively. Wow, that was a battle to fight. I mean, we needed a lot of perseverance to survive. And it was tough, and lasted a couple of years until 2007, that one day we received a fax from the Australian embassy. Wow, who sends fax? This is pretty cool. And they were inviting us for a meeting, and they said, hey, we have a delegation of Australians that are coming to the Middle East, and they operate in the same line of business as you, and they'd like to meet you. So we went to that meeting, and we met a couple of Australian people, really nice people. Georg was one of them. And I went back to the office, and I took one of their business cards, and I Googled it, REA Group. I said, who are these people? Wow, look at that. This is an amazing business. With one URL, realestate.com.au, in 2007, they were generating already something like $80 million US. Wow, I mean, these guys must have got something that I didn't understand. So we were very excited about the opportunity working with them. We were struggling to fight against Gulf News, and REA decided to invest in us. And together, we decided, forget about the print. We're never going to win this Gulf News battle. Let's focus on the online. And so we switched all our customers towards the online. And so it was a bit early, right? 2007, it was still a bit early for the internet. We were getting traction nicely. We were gathering content. Our website started ranking on Google, and we started generating leads for those real estate agents. But it was just getting traction. And then suddenly, 2 years later, what happened? Boom, another problem. The global financial crisis hit the world hard. And trust me, it didn't spare Dubai. The real estate prices started plummeting, 50, 60% down. People were fleeing the country, leaving their car at the airport because they were afraid not to be able to pay their bills. And so REA decided that it was the right time for them to focus on their core market, and we agreed to part path. And that was a difficult time because I had to take the decision whether to close down the business or just reinvest all my money in order to sustain and hope that the market would rebound at some point. But you never know. Is it going to take a year? Is it going to take 20 years like Japan's crisis took 20 years to come back? But I was excited about the opportunity and decided to stay. And so again, for a year, we hold it tight. We cut the cost as much as possible. And 12 months later, faster than anyone had expected, the real estate market in Dubai rebounded. And guess what? Real estate agents didn't want to pay crazy prices to be in Gulf News. They didn't want to buy billboards and radio. What did they want? They wanted cost-effective marketing, right? They wanted to get leads at a cheap price. And they remembered, hey, these guys, Property Finder, they told us they could deliver leads for $300 a month. Hey, let's go and sign up with them and try it. And so we started signing up real estate agents after the other, one after the other. The big names came, it helped, many others followed. And so the beauty of this business model is that you have recurrent monthly revenues coming in. And so 3 years later, we were finally out of our desperation phase. It was 2011, and we finally broke even. So just a reminder, we started the business in 2005, and we broke even in 2011. That's 6 years of losing money. It was long. And so 2011, we decide, all right, UAE is a great country, but we operate in a region of 400 million people. The Arab world is a big world. Let's go out there and let's go and win those markets. There's still no real estate player over there. But we thought we need to raise money because with our own cash flow, we're not going to be able to do that. And so we said to raise money, we need to prove that we can duplicate our business model into another market. So we went to Qatar, a smaller country next to the UAE, and we were the first one to get there. And after a year, we managed to grab the leadership position. There was nobody there, and we realized, wow, the first mover advantage is really a huge advantage, right? If you don't mess it up, well, you're going to get it. And so with that success, we went out to the market and said, hey, we want to raise some money, and we want to go and conquer the Middle East. Now, problem, this is 2012. I mean, the VC industry in Dubai or in the UAE is almost inexistent. Luckily, I meet a lovely gentleman who's sitting right there in the room. And Danny Farha was the co-founder of Bates, the largest job site in the Middle East. And he just had exited his shares to Tiger and had a bit of money to invest. And he thought, okay, did job classified? Well, now I'm going to do real estate classified. And I said, well, this guy has the experience of the Middle East. This is just a perfect match. And so he invested after a couple of negotiations. And we decided to go and open rapidly in 5 different markets in the Middle East. So we opened in Bahrain, we opened in Lebanon, we did an acquisition, we did a small acquisition in Saudi, and we opened in Morocco and in Egypt, right? And suddenly, we were in 7 markets. Now, to be honest, we had totally underestimated the complexity of running 7 businesses, right? We thought, hey, it's going to be a walk in the park like in Qatar. But actually, Qatar, we were quite lucky. The product didn't really need any localization. The Qatar was very similar to the UAE. As for the other markets, we actually really needed to localize the product. And comes another problem. Our tech doesn't support 7 countries. We can't localize our product in 7 markets, right? As an entrepreneur, you're always super ambitious and you want to do plenty of things, but the tech is a big part. And so my CTO had been telling me for the past 18 months, don't worry, it's coming, we're launching that new platform. And CTOs are great to postpone deadlines. And I knew he was not going to be able to deliver. And luckily one day, I crossed paths with another gentleman. Again, people. I crossed paths with a Swedish Swedish classified product guru. His name is Pierre Siri. Pierre Siri was nothing less than the co-founder of Blocket. Blocket is the mother of all horizontal classified in Sweden, which he then sold to Schibsted. And under Schibsted, he then launched one of the biggest classified out there, Le Bon Coin in France, and many other classified. And so he happened to be in Dubai with his family, and I knew that I needed his tech experience, his product knowledge in order to succeed in the Middle East and to change my platforms. And so I gave him the keys of the tech department and product department, and over 6 months, he had relaunched something that my previous CTO couldn't do in 18 months. And we went live, and amazing results. The bounce rate went from 50% down to 25%. Time on site went from 4 minutes to 14 minutes. SEO started going through the roof, and so we had the right product in order to succeed. Again, without the people, that wouldn't be possible. Now, we realized in order to succeed in the Middle East, we needed to empower our local country managers. We couldn't do it ourselves, and we couldn't run those offices like sales office. We need to really empower them and let them tell us what the product needed to be. And in order to do that, we would need further funding because, again, we're open on 7 fronts. We would need further funding in order to conquer those markets. So we decided to go out, but now outside of the Middle East, to try and raise funds from more international investors. And we went to the US, and we went to Europe, different places, and we talked to a lot of people. We had a great story. I mean, we had 5 years of consecutive growth, revenues doubling year on year, and great product, great team. But we kept getting term sheets that had all these controlling terms into it, and we just didn't feel comfortable, right? Why should we give control or certain terms that were shady? And we persevered, we continued to look for the right investor until we crossed paths with another Swedish person, another Swedish firm called Vostok. And Vostok are, sorry, I skipped that part. I'll come back to it. Vostok are great classified investors. They are the seed investors in Avito, which is a $2.7 billion business in Russia, a classified business in Russia. And so they gave us the great terms. Coming back just to the previous slide, I missed that. A lot of people tell me, but how did you meet Pierre Siri? You know, Pierre Siri in Sweden is like the Zuckerberg of Sweden. And how did you meet him? And I said, well, it's a funny story, because in 2013-14 in Dubai, there was a rumor about having another heated market, you know, and everybody was saying, ooh, there's another bubble in the market. And everybody was a little bit afraid and to even say the word bubble, because the bubble had marked the spirit so much during the crisis. And so we decided to wrap our building and put those words out there. Keep calm, there's no bubble. And so we got a massive exposure on the media and on social media as well. Even Business Insider covered that image. And Pierre Siri saw it. He was in Dubai, he saw it. He's like, wow, I like that. I like these guys, ballsy. I'm going to go and meet them. And he came and knocked on our door. So, again, a lot of people involved in the story, a lot of persistence. And so we're now finally raised money from Vostok earlier this year, $20 million US. And that gives us enough power to go and conquer the remaining markets where we are. And the plan is to build a profitable business to be the #1 in as many countries as possible. And hopefully, Patrick will invite me next year or the following on year, and I could keep you up with the story. So before I wrap up, I just want to say, what did we learn? What did we really learn during this story is that if you don't have problems, you don't have business, right? And if you don't have people, you can't solve those problems. And finally, know that it's going to take a very long time to solve those problems. It took 11 years to get to here, and so you'll need a lot of persistence to succeed. Thank you very much.